I was placed in SEG on December 24th, 2013 after defending myself in a 2-versus-1 fight. 2 days later, on December 26, 2013, came the arrival of Mr. Robert Taylor, a 74-year-old local homeless man who suffered from the disease of alcoholism. I knew there was something wrong from the start. There was no way this man could have committed any violation or code of conduct. I began asking COs why he was back there, what charge did he commit, and the general consensus was he didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. He should have been in the clinic, but due to cost-saving measures, they threw him in segregation. This way they wouldn't have to take a CO off the floor to watch him.
It is absolutely baseless that there would be a decision made on an inmate's well-being based on cost savings. Baseless. Are we responsible to taxpayers and their money? Absolutely. But we wouldn't endanger a CO or an inmate to save money. That's baseless.
During that period of time, I saw Mr. Taylor lying there on the floor, motionless. He was bare. His feet and arms appeared to have lack of circulation due to the purple coloration of his flesh. The CO stated that he had been defecating feces and blood, as well as urinating in the exact position where he was initially placed. You would think this would be sufficient to get him to a hospital, but that was not the response. Instead, they would open Mr. Taylor's cell and occasionally spray the room and himself with Lysol. I volunteered to spoon feed him and provide him with the necessary care, but my requests were denied.
If they're sick, they can go to the hospital. I mean, we can send them to the hospital. There are services, there are medical services in the jail. If there was an indication that Mr. Taylor was sick, there was a number of resources that would have been provided for him, certainly.
And
there was
defecating
no
on the floor was
indication.
not an indication for him because it was...
That was his lifestyle, right. That was his lifestyle. There was a toilet there. There was a toilet there. I mean, he showed strength. He was up, he was walking around, he went to the shower the day before.
Sergeant Nunn was coming around on one of his rotations and finally decided to physically check on Mr. Robert Taylor. 5-day period of no meals, no water, him lying on the floor, I guess, you know, made him make that decision. He opened cell 203, walked in, said, "Oh shit, he's dead."
There has to be something more than that. There has to be a level where a reasonable prison guard, a reasonable prison official would know, or should have known, that the level of care they were providing was negligent, was below the standards.
I mean, the prosecutor's report speaks for itself. You know, the prosecutor is an independent investigation. The prosecutor is appointed by the governor, sworn to an oath. They did a thorough investigation. They concluded that there was no criminal wrongdoing or neglect. They concluded that Sean Turzanski's report was rife with inconsistencies. It outlines pretty clearly the Robert Taylor, the treatment he received, and it wasn't neglectful. He was checked on every 15 minutes. Any indication otherwise is purely fictional.
I have very rarely, in 25 years of dealing with law enforcement, seen any type of internal investigation that in print held anybody fully accountable for situations like this.
Sean is trying to sensationalize what happened for his own agenda. And that's the shame. The real shame here is that you have individuals trying to sensationalize, trying to capitalize on Robert Taylor's death for their own agenda.
My reasoning for coming forth is simple. The public has to know. Social awareness is key. What happened inside was wrong from start to finish, and those within need to be held accountable.
Mr. Turzanski, while I appreciate your remarks, it's important for everyone to note that the prosecutor's office has read your letter. They've interviewed you and thoroughly discredited your allegations. The letter outlining the prosecutor's findings and discrediting Mr. Turzanski. No, you're done, Sarah.
You need to be seated.
It's available tonight. We'll present it to anyone that's interested in having it.
I've already read it.
Sir, you're done.
He speaks, you sit.
You had your time. You're done.